Welcome back everybody. Today's video we're going to be talking about the deadlift and we're going to break it down as a complete beginner. So first of all we want to learn the movement pattern, and then in the following videos we're going to progress it to RDLs, single leg RDLs, and on and on and on. So to start with, we're going to learn the movement pattern. So the movement pattern for the deadlift is a hinge pattern. So in the previous video we did the squat, I'll link it here, and now we're going to learn the hinge. So the hinge is, as it says, hinging at the hips, so your hips are going to move backwards. So the difference between a hinge and a squat is your pelvis, it translates vertically in the squat and it translates horizontally in the deadlift or the hinge, which we're going to teach you today. So first of all, we're going to teach you with no weight at all, and we're going to teach you the correct position that you want to be in to get the most out of your deadlifts. So to do this, you're going to need a dowel or a broomstick. If you don't have a broomstick, then you're going to grab yourself a Hoover handle. So we're using the Hoover handle, we're going to set up the correct position. So for this is what we're going to do. So we're going to put this down your back so we get you into the correct position. So the Hoover handle or the spirit broom wants to be in contact with your head, wants to be in contact between your shoulder blades with your spine here, and it wants to be touching between your bum cheeks, your tailbone. And then you don't want to let any of these points of contact leave your body throughout the movement. And then from here we're just going to hinge over and try and keep contact the entire time. So as you can see, Franny's pelvis is translating horizontally. So this is the hinge movement. Just come back up, Franny. Just do a few more here. So this is essentially the deadlift pattern. So we want to try and keep you in this neutral spine as much as possible, because this is again going to give you that stacked rib cage like we spoke about in the core bracing video, because by having a good stacked rib cage and a good core brace, this is going to allow us to transfer force very well. So let's do a couple more for him. Nice, good, just one more. Okay, that's brilliant, so that's perfect. So once you can do it with the broomstick or with the Hoover, then you're gonna try it without the Hoover, just to see if you have the same pattern. So we're gonna do the same thing again.
Something I like to do with this one is, when you're doing it with no weight, is just leave your hands by your side and let them run down your leg. Often people try and take them forward or do something, and that causes you to lean further forward rather than hinging back. So just keep them by your side.
Yeah, a lot of people ask what to do with their hands. Good, cool.
People don't know.
Yeah. So that's perfect, good. Same again.
And when I'm going down, again, with your hands being there, another thing that happens is people then think, oh, I'll try and reach to the floor. You're not trying to reach down. Yeah, you're not trying to reach as low as possible, because once you do that, you'll put undue stress onto your lower back. So we want to, the limiting factor here wants to be really the hamstrings. Okay, perfect. Okay, that's perfect. So once you've nailed it body weight, then you're in a place to start adding load. Okay, so the best way to do this, if you're going to add load, you want to start with use a kettlebell or a dumbbell turned on its side. For this reason, you want to be able to stand over the kettlebell or over the dumbbell, because we want to try and add the weight to our center of mass or to our body weight. So if we can stand over the object, just watch him. I thought I was the dummy.
Right, you can be a dummy. Very true, you are the dummy. Right, hop on. So if you do step over, you want to try and get it in line with the mid-foot, so here, because this is where the majority of Franny's weight is going to be going. So we want to try and add it to her body weight. If we were to add it here, and then just hinge down.
You can see I'm going forward already.
Her weight is leaning forward, and she's going to put more pressure on her lower back. So we want to try and minimize this, and we want to try and add the weight to her hips. So by putting it between her feet, this is then going to load the musculature correctly, and it's going to put her in a better position. There you go. Good, that's it. Go all the way down to the floor for this one. Good. Perfect. Okay, so this is the deadlift position, and this is how you want to set yourself up. So before you actually start lifting weight, start by getting yourself set up with a pole so you know you're in the correct position. Do a few body weight, and then it's best to go onto a dumbbell or a kettlebell before you start trying to use a barbell, because it's going to be a lot harder to maneuver around your knees once you have a barbell.
And just notice where my head is as I go down as well. You don't need to leave it, you don't want to leave it up.
Yeah.
You want to.
So yeah, you want all this kind of nice and neutral. A lot of people will have their head tilted all the way back, you'll be looking at the ceiling, and this is just going to put a bit more of a kink in your spine, so we want to try and keep it as neutral as we can. And there you go, and the heavier you get here, the more brace you're going to need to turn on. So if you're not sure what the brace is, then we're gonna link that in the video here. Okay, and that is the deadlift. Cheers, guys.